Hello and welcome to the show. Today we are going to look at customer relationship management or client relationship management. What does that mean and why is it important? If you've been listening to the show for any length of time, you know that it's something I've hinted on every now and then, but it's one of these perennial issues, so we can't ignore it because it comes up every now and then again in business. So it's not something that you can overstress. It's not something that you can overflog. At least for those of us who are in the early stages of a business. So if you are a conglomerate or you're a behemoth like MTN, what else? Big national banks. Customer relationship can be a tagline, and you guys don't pay attention to it, and you still do well because you reached a certain level of what will I say, critical mass. But then, for those of us in the early days, this is not something that we can trifle with. So the big business is MTN. They can put you on hold for 30 minutes, but they know that they all behave the same way. So it's not like you have an alternative. It's not like if you run away from MTN and you move to Nine Mobile, the service is going to be any better. And it's the same thing with the banks. They put you on hold for 30, 45 minutes because it's the same thing everywhere. So until we get to that level, we can't afford to mess with customer relationship management, customer service issues, all these sorts of things. In fact, I have a theory. I don't know how I'm going to be able to prove it until maybe one day if I end up consulting for one of the big conglomerates, big multinational organizations. I have a theory that even at that stage, you can use good customer service, customer relationship management issues to be a distinguishing factor for your business. But anyway, that's a theory. If I ever get a chance to prove it, I'll be sure to let you guys know over here on the podcast. Well, like I said, technically speaking, we're going to limit it to customer relationship management and not everything that is customer focused or customer service and then all of that. So, first off, it'll help if we define what a relationship is. Because there are some people who say, look, relationship is what I have with my mom or my wife or my siblings. Relationship is not what I have with a business. So cut the crap. There's no such thing as customer relationship management because there's no relationship to begin with in the first place. Now, in a sense, people who say that are correct. But technically speaking, if you think about it, what a relationship is, it's just the state of existence between two people. So in that sense, we are in relationships, not just with personal entities, but also interpersonal, or you get the drift. We have personal entities and then entities that are not persons. So we're in relationship with these things all the time. For those of us who are living here in Nigeria, there's no doubt that you are in a relationship with the Nigerian state because there's a state of existence, there's a state of relationship, there's a state of terms that exist between you and the Nigerian state. So in a sense, you can say relationship is all I have with my mom, my kids, my siblings. Yeah, I guess you might be right. But if you look at it in a technical sense, there's a state of existence that always exists between two people and two entities. And so we find that we are in multiple relationships all the time, especially with our prospects or with our customers, because there's a state of existence that occurs between both of us. Now, whether the relationship is good or bad, that's another topic for contention. And whether the relationship is fruitful or not, that's also another thing to be decided. But we are always in a state of relationship somewhat with our prospects and with our customers. So, customer relationship management. Is there a relationship? Yes, there is a relationship, just not the kind that you have with your mom or with your kids or with your siblings or with your dad. So, do relationships need managing? Because remember, customer relationship management. Do relationship need managing? Because there's some of you who think, look, in my personal affairs, with my mom, with my siblings, with my spouse, with my kids, with my whoever, the relationship just takes care of itself. So I don't need to actively or proactively manage anything. But unfortunately, the answer is even when you have a relationship with your mom and with your siblings and with your dad, the relationship actually need some level of managing or some proactivity. Because if you don't do that, then your relationships are not going to achieve the desired ends. Because all relationships are geared towards something. There's no sort of relationship that is just relationship for relationshiping sake. Even people who are friends with benefits, you can see that it is related, it is geared towards something, even though the ends are questionable, if we can put it that way. So all relationships needs managing. So for your marriage, the end of the marriage or the goal of the marriage is mutual companionship, and we're trying to raise kids that are self-sufficient. So we have to proactively manage the relationship towards all this. You can't just wake up every day and expect that the relationship with your wife is going to sort itself out, or the relationship with your husband will sort itself out. Both of you have to proactively manage these sorts of things. So if you are a caveman of sorts, once in a while you need to have a bath, groom, use perfume, smell nice, so that your wife can find you attractive again. Organize date nights, try to court her once in a while. You get the drift. You are trying to manage the relationship. And it's the same thing with the kids. Spend time with them, watch some of their TV, go out and try and play with them, help out with homework, get to gossip with them, know who their friends are. That's for those of you who have teenage kids. Because one of my cousins who's turning 50, one of my big cousins is turning 53-ish, 54-ish, and her kids are old. Well, not old anyway, but older than my own kids. So it's a delight to watch the relationship that she has with her own children. She has two kids. The younger one, the girl, is 20 something. The boy is older than that, but it's a delight watching them converse. They drive, she's sitting in the car, they're talking about all sorts of things. Well, anyway, it's not about my family issues. What I'm just trying to say is that all relationships excuse me, all relationships need managing. The same thing, sibling relationships are for mutual flourishing and support through life. So the whole point with my brothers and my sisters and my cousins is that we will support each other as we grow. So we need to manage the relationships. Now, what does that have to do for those of us who are business-minded, greedy, entrepreneurial, whatever word you want to call it? It's the same when we enter into commercial or business relationships. Now, business relationships are all about the transfer of value. And value means different things to different people depending on the context. But for the business, let's be safe to say that value equals money. I'm oversimplifying it, but just follow me here. I'm trying to show something. So for the business, let's say value equals money. And then to the customer, value equals the solution or the transformation or, whatever it is that they are seeking. So you can see that commercial and business relationships are built around value. So we have to proactively manage around these things so that we can get value out of the relationship, so that the customer gets the solution, the transformation, the good results. And then you, business owner, you get all the money. Then, let's see what else. Okay, customer relationship management. We've done relationship, we've done management. Okay, customer. Now, who is a customer? By the way, the C in CRM, some people say customer relationship management, some people say client relationship management. To go with a simple everyday man, everyday woman working definition, I use them interchangeably. The main difference, I'll say, in regular parlance, the way people normally speak, is just that when you hear client, you're thinking in a much more business to business context. But then when you say customer, you're thinking business to business to consumer. So for the lady who sells a goosey in the market, she sees you and she's like, "Hey, customer, long time, how have you been?" But then for those of us who provide like back when I was a photographer, I couldn't exactly see one of my brides and say, "Hey, customer, how you been?" That's somehow. So I'll look at the bride and I'd introduce her to other people and say, "Oh, this is my client." So that's the difference, customer, client. But you can use both terms interchangeably, at least when you're talking to me. If you're talking to other people who are sticklers for definitions, they will correct you sharply, like, "No, you call this person a customer, this person is actually your client." Or, "No, you call this person a client, this person is actually a customer." So a customer is someone who has given you money in the past for your product or your service or your solution. That's the simple definition that I like to use. So customer, a client, they've given you money in the past. In other words, if the person has not given you money in the past, technically speaking, the person is a prospect. This is somebody that you hope will enter into a business relationship with you. Now, Why are we trying to manage these relationships? The reason why we're trying to manage these relationships is because we're trying to maximize lifetime customer value. The idea behind it is this: when somebody does business with you, let's look at TomTom for instance. Okay, no, TomTom, that's too small. Let's look at the loaf of bread. Yes, that's my favorite example that I've given when it comes to maximizing lifetime customer value. Oh, by the way, forgive me for the noise in the background. It's a full house, and so my kids are just monkeying about in the house. But the day is almost over, so I might as well just go ahead and make this recording. So, where was I? Bread and maximizing lifetime customer value. So, if somebody comes and buys one loaf of bread from you, right now, bread in the part of the city where I live is 1,200 naira. Now, I know that there's some of you, in Lagos, certain brands of bread are more expensive. I find that really shocking. But anyway, currently 1,200 naira. So, if somebody comes and buys one loaf of bread from you and the person never comes back, that is the only profit that you get out of that business transaction. So let's say 1,200, but your profit is 200 naira. So this person comes and goes, all you captured was 200 naira. But if you figure out a way to get the person to come back again and again and again, if the person comes and buys 6 loaves from you over the course of 6 months, then your profit margin being 200 naira, you have managed to get 1,200 naira in profit. Now, 1,200 naira in profit is better than just 200 naira in profit. Imagine if you get the person to come the whole year. Imagine if the person comes 3 years in a row. And imagine if you guys get the sort of relationship where you're chatty and everything, you know the whole family, you guys are cool. The person doesn't just buy bread, but the person starts buying bread and eggs and maybe corned beef and then something else. So you get the whole gist. So we try to develop these relationships because we're trying to maximize lifetime customer value. Because if people buy from us once, then the profit, we only get it once. But if people buy from us over and over again, we get repeatable profit in larger quantity over longer periods of time. Now, another reason why we try to maximize we manage relationships is because when people buy from us only once, we have to now spend more time and more money in sales and marketing. So for the fellow who comes to buy the loaf of bread and who keeps coming back again and again and again, I don't need to spend money to attract him anymore because he's already here or she's already here in the store. So I can spend my time looking for other people to come to the store. Okay, let me put it this way. If you have a store and you have regulars that come, let's say you have a neighborhood shop and you have regulars of, let's say, 50 families that come to your shop, and they do so every week for the whole year, and they've been doing so for the past 5 years, you're not going to have BP. You're not going to have high tension because there's a certain level of revenue that you've been used to because these people have been coming and coming and coming. But if it's up and down and up and down and up and down, and families come and families go, and somebody comes, they quarrel with your sales girl, they're angry, they take their business elsewhere, then you now have BP because you're wondering, last month was good. We did 1.2 M, but this month, we've gone halfway into the month. We've only managed to do 400K. What's going on? And then you're nervous, and then all of that. So this is why we try to manage the relationships. We get people coming back over and over again while maximizing lifetime customer value. So, like I said, back to the whole thing of your mom and your wife or your husband, is the relationship going to manage itself? Don't just wake up and expect that the relationship with your husband is just going to take care of itself. You have to be proactive. So husbands, we have to be proactive. Wives, you also have to be proactive as well. The good thing about wives is, husbands are simple people, so you don't need much to keep us engaged, if you catch my drift. All right, so will the relationship manage itself? Like I said, no, not in most cases. There are people who are actualized customers or sufficiently motivated customers, and these people keep coming back on their own. But these people are in the minority, and these are customers who know exactly what it is that they want. Like I was telling somebody earlier today, the first time I came across one of these people in my wedding photography practice years ago, I was shocked because the lady showed up and she was like, "Hey, how are you doing? We're seeing your photos. They're really nice." She brought out an album. This is my parents' album. They got married in 19 blah 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 blah. This thing was made in, it was one of these albums that was made abroad, maybe like in Italy or something. This is what they got. It is something, something, something kind of paper. Look at the matting. Look at the seams. Look at the this. Look at the that. This is exactly what I want for my wedding. Do you have this exact thing? How soon can you get it? How much will it cost for this for us to replicate this exact same thing? And I was shocked because I had never seen a customer just roll up like that who knows exactly down to the technical whatever. I was like, this is exactly what I want. Can you give it to me? And then how much? Okay, no problem, give me your account number. I was shocked. So that has only happened to me once. Those sorts of people, actualized people, sufficiently motivated people, they keep coming back and back on their own because they know why they're coming to you. So, except if you're an absolute idiot and you're negligent and you do something to ruin the relationship, you can expect to see these people come back again and again. But for most people who are not actualized buyers or sufficiently motivated buyers, you have to manage the relationship. So other customers, other clients, they have to be engaged. They have to be motivated. They have to be incentivized to keep coming back again and again and again. Now, how do we manage the relationship? Number one, like I said, when we're talking about husbands and wives, take the initiative. So, wives, wink, wink, don't always wait for your husband to take the initiative. I'm assuming that we're all adults listening to the show, so you can read in between the lines. So, take the initiative. Husbands, take the initiative. Wives, take the initiative. When we're dealing with our customers, take the initiative. Don't wait for the customer to take the initiative. For most people, it's not going to happen. And number two, you have to be deliberate about your outreach. You can't just wake up one day and think, I haven't seen this customer for like 8 months now. I wonder how this person is. And then you pick up the phone and then try to call. No, you have to be deliberate about it. Schedule it in your calendar or whatever. You're going to be hitting this guy up every two months. He's an important customer. You don't want to lose the deal. Or you schedule the end of year thing where you send them a Christmas present or a card or a note. Thank you very much for your business in 2025, 2026, whatever. We have to be deliberate about the outreach. We can't just wake up one day and be like, I haven't seen Kemi. What happened to her? Has she jackpot? And then you try calling, and indeed she has jackpot. Jackpot is a recent phenomenon in Nigeria where Nigerians are emigrating, running away, particularly to Canada, at least at this time. Who knows next year what the flavor of Nigerian immigration is going to be. So we have to be deliberate. Then we also have to be customer focused. We need to hone in on their needs, their wants, their values, and their interests. Remember how I was talking about maximizing lifetime customer value? If we want them to keep coming back and back, and we want to keep growing our bank account, we want to keep getting our deposits. Unfortunately for us, the only way to grow our deposits is to pay attention to the other people. So, to be selfish, we have to be selfless. So we have to focus in on their needs, their wants, their values, their interests, and make sure that those things are being met. So in a summary, those are the things we need to do to manage the relationship. So how do you take the initiative? You take the initiative by having a calendar, by having a diary, by having some reminder system, by having some note-taking system. Why do we need a system like this? Because we end up talking to dozens and dozens of customers over the years, and eventually you get to the stage where you can't remember everything about all of them. There are people that have fantastic memories, like some of these neighborhood shop people. And there's this pharmacist in my neighborhood. It's like the guy knows everybody. You come inside, he knows your name. Somehow, he knows your wife's name, even though you only mentioned it once. He also knows the name of your children. And he can say, oh, so and so is 12 years old now. He say, oh, no, actually, he's 13. Say, 13, these children are growing up, blah, blah. As in, the guy is magic. Don't assume that you are magic. If you are magic, somebody would have told you by now. So don't assume that you are magic. You, unfortunately, unlike my pharmacist, neighborhood pharmacist, you need a calendar, you need a diary, you need a reminder system, a note-taking system, whatever it is, because the number of people that we're talking to keeps going up and up and up. Now, this system is what we call a CRM or a CRM tool, because I'm sure some of you have been hearing CRM tools, customer relationship management tools, and since I started talking about this 20 minutes ago, you guys have been waiting for me to say CRM, and Now the build up is done and we are here. What this system is called is a CRM tool. It can be a website, it can be an app. There are different kinds of industry standards and there are different kinds of formal solutions that are available on the market, but this is not the focus of the show yet. So I'm not going to tell you guys get Salesforce or get Zoho or get let's see what else, HubSpot, or get whatever it is that is out there, and then all these retail management software, like when you go into the store and they scan, because there are some of them that allow people to have customers phone numbers and things like that, like some store back when we lived in Lagos. There was this store, really small boutique like this, where they used to sell makeup, because my mom used to be a Q-Tex girl. Q-Tex is what do you call this thing? Nails. The thing that used to paint your nails. So now Q-Tex is old, is legacy. So young girls nowadays don't use Q-Tex because Q-Tex is what mamas use, that kind of thing. So my mom's a Q-Tex girl, and then for lipstick it used to be okay. I can't remember. There's some red matte kind of thing. Anyway, so that was the only store that she could find it, and those people, they were sharp. So they didn't just use that whole thing for scanning. You go and you take it, you scan, and then you pay. They give you receipt. But they had Momsy's details there, and those people were really, really, they were good. I mean, they did their homework. They kind of knew when Momsy's lipstick was about to finish, and they would send messages that, oh ma, this brand we have stocked up. We have this, that. A text message. Then somebody else might even call, like, oh, mommy, we've got them in stock. Oh, the thing is going down now. And then Momsy, of course, we say, Tawishima, let's go. I'll drive her to the store. She'll pick up her supplies. So you can see that there are lots of things that can serve the function of CRM tools, including the fancy scanning software that we use in our shops. But I'm not going to say you should use any of these things particularly. The reason why I'm not going to focus on that on this episode is because there are people right now, like you and me, who need simple, everyday solutions. Solutions that someone starting out can use right now to make traction. Because the thing about HubSpot is, yes, there's free account. Let's see, Salesforce. Okay, no, Salesforce is paid. Zoho, you have to pay. Let's see, what else? But the thing is, I'm trying to focus on things that you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to go to YouTube to try and learn how to apply anything, because it's just there. So that's going to be the focus of this the episodes that will continue. Now, since we've done 20 minutes already, I'll bring this to a close. From tomorrow onwards, we're going to start looking at specific examples of calendars, of diaries, of reminder systems, of note-taking systems, so you don't forget to keep so you don't forget anything, and you can keep track of all your customer relationships. And remember, the goal is trying to maximize customer lifetime value. We're trying to get repeat business and referrals. We're trying to make sure that the person buys from us in January, they come 2 times. In February, they come 3 times. In March, maybe they come once. But then eventually we get to April, May, and they have brought their wife along and maybe referred somebody in the office, and that is what we're trying to grow here. So tomorrow, specific examples of tools that we can use. So that's all for today, folks. Please connect with me on WhatsApp. The phone number is 080-6466-2140, and the country code is +234 for those of you who are not Nigerian. Then connect with me on LinkedIn. My name is Tavishima Ayede. I'm the host of the show. You can confirm the spelling of my name and my email address from the link where you're currently listening to this episode. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next episode. And please, husbands and wives, remember to take the initiative in your relationships, because these relationships are not going to manage themselves. So I'll catch you guys at the next episode.